When Abraham Lincoln became president and the South seceded, the senior general outlined for him what he called an anaconda strategy, that they would gradually surround and crush the rebellion. Well, if you watch week after week, our allies are getting madder at Iran, not at us. The Iranians are gradually losing power and capability. We are coercing them. They are in the middle, I think, of a huge internal fight between a faction that desperately wants a deal and a faction that desperately wants to keep up the old dictatorship. The president is moving slower than I'd like, but he's moving methodically and saying, look, I am going to do what it takes, and you Iranians get to decide how much it takes.
Yeah, you know what? You're partially right there on that last part. The Iranians do get to decide, but it ain't a matter of how much they can take. It's how much you can take. It's how much we can take. And we're getting to the edge of that already. And this whole idea that there's all this conflict inside of Iran and like you somehow think that's good, that's not good. There is conflict in Iran. You're partially right on that too. But it's not about making the government unfunctional. It's about the people putting pressure on the government to say, you haven't done enough. Why have you released anything? And that's leads back to this claim here that their parliament could set to say, get rid of the Strait of Hormuz or get rid of the MOU. Is that really what you want to get to? Or that they're going to say, hey, and
that's where they went. And Newt Gingrich, don't forget, Newt Gingrich wanted to have the internet controlled by a panel of judges. And everything that went out on the internet would have to be approved. This is around 2005. He actually said this. Everything that went out on the internet would have to be approved by a panel of judges. But he said, I want to make sure that I'm understood here. You know, if people get the wrong impression, I want them to understand that when I'm talking about this panel of judges that decides on speech on the internet, the key thing is that they all have had military service. Have done military service. Oh, okay. Well, that totally makes censorship that much sweeter. That's great. Thanks there, Newt. Great. Good thinking. And he's praising Lincoln to crush the rebellion. Yeah, so Lincoln sent some guys out to, destroy cities and towns and ports and stuff like that to starve out people because that was a good idea and it was really great for kids and wives. Because, Lincoln's awesome. I like just the sound of the word Lincoln. It's just great. And, I was trained like a trained seal to like that 2-syllable Lincoln sound. It makes me feel great. I've got all these innate trained emotions about a guy, who was an absolute tyrant, but I think he's awesome because I was brought up in that world. That's Newt. Thanks, Newt. Great stuff. Great stuff. Thanks for touching base on reality there. But of course, he's one of the old guard. And one of the old guard who just passed away, Lindsey Graham, maybe there'll be some changes coming in the Senate. Oh, no, that's right. His sister is there now. It's same as it ever was, like the Talking Heads.
Same as it ever was. 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 When your days go by, let the water hold me down.
It's friggin' David Byrne. That's awesome. Yes, everyone, celebrate. Pop the champagne because that's right. Lindsey Graham's sister, Darline Graham, is now the senator pro tem or pro whatever. So she'll be in there voting for the deep state, and that'll be awesome. There you go, huh? That's good stuff, huh? Don't question it because it's all for you. It's what the government's all about. It's totally awesome. Don't forget that stuff, okay?